project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause
it's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
Let's get the topic straight, let's get things good, let's do everything that we should.
It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight.
It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Alright, and what is going on, guys? This is your boy Tig once again back for another show of Project Open Mic. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope things are doing good for you. We got a good show for you tonight, so let's bring that lovely mug on the screen. Voila. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a good night for real. Shout out to people in the listening audience. Of course, we got Facebook, we have Tempo FM, and we have YouTube. Shout out to all. Again, hope everybody's doing good tonight. So tonight we have interesting topics to deep dive into, so hope people can bear with me tonight. And we're gonna show some, as usual, show stuff and have no problem to talk about issues of the day. First of all, I want to thank you guys also for on the Tempo FM side for keeping the show going more powerful and stuff back in last week. Facebook, again, I apologize. We had a technical difficulties with Facebook situation, but we got it squared away. So I'm happy that that's being taken care of. So if I'm back live on Facebook again for the Project Open Mic. So we have some, like I said, we have some topics to talk about. We got to talk about Black Lives Matter in a certain way that, like I said, to talk about it. Then we have to talk about the Far East because of what's going on with a lot of the, how should I say this, with how certain algorithms pick up certain tones and stuff. I had to label it a certain way. And I'm trying to make this new feature that I call Rules for Thee, Not For Me, because that's literally what it is. So with that said, let's get into our topic as what it is. Of course, last week we had the RNC. The week before, we had the RNC, and we had a situation because one of the situations standing out to me, and I know, as I stated before, there's a bubble. A lot of people don't get in. A lot of people stay in that bubble. They don't go outside. They don't look for different things. That's one of the major problems of a lot of people thinking the way they think. Again, I understand. You have work, you have school, you have kids, you have a lot more stuff to worry about, and I get that. And most people tangentially just get just a skim of the news, the news, and just get the headlines, but don't dig deep and everything. That's your job. But as Mark Twain said, if you don't read a newspaper, you're You're uninformed. If you read a newspaper, you're misinformed. And that's where the problem is, where I see a lot of people things and say stuff, and I'm like, okay, but then if you're not hurt nobody, I could get it. But then you kind of, but when violence and destroying people's lives and livelihood and everything is going on, then yeah, it's kind of not a good thing. It's not helping nobody. So that's what we talking about. Now, on if you want to check this out once again, two things. Well, three things I should say before we dive deep down into these subjects, just as a kind of a setup for certain things. This is what I'm talking about here. So on if you want to go back and check this out, go back to Project Open Mic. You see the link down, you see it below. Project Open Mic YouTube. You could go back and see that I talked about Black Lives Matter as I went to their website, blacklivesmatter.com, and read through their meaning statement, the mission statement, and also if you click on the donation button, you see it goes to a organization called Act Blue, which is fully run by the Democratical Party. That they take the money and give it mostly to the candidates. They're not even majority, and not even infinitesimal. Just almost all the money goes towards white people. I got nothing against that. I'm just letting people know that that's what's happening. Go check out Act Blue, or if you go to the blacklivesmatter.com, you click on the button, and that's what you get. You'll see the title page. Most people, if you click on something, they take you to another page. You see who's doing the transactions, and that's what you will get. I've done that, but I also have a video talking about that. But it's go to Project Open Mic YouTube for people on Facebook and Tempo FM, and you just see the video where we go through that. Second is Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I have nothing with people who are going through the phrase and say, "Do Black Lives Matter?" They do. A lot of people's lives matter. Now, I'm not like I want people goes with. Okay, let's put it this way. As again, I represent myself. I don't represent the black community. Black community, as I've said before, I don't speak for the black community. Black community don't speak for me. But on this channel, even though I put things together, if this radio show and podcast that I've done, I did that. Many people who are part of this, as you saw in the side check, more people are getting added on. That we are, we talk. I'm not scrupulously holding them down. I want them to speak as best as they can. They could tell you that I don't hold them down from not speaking what it is. It's not like I'm stopping them from doing what they got to do. But I'm just trying to say, because I'm a person, that's what it's called, Project Open Mic. It's an open mic. We talk about stuff. We should get more and more people added in as to what it is. That's why next tomorrow on the side chat, you're gonna see different things. And for people out there, check out the side chat. We talk about some tough issues, but some that we just joke around. That's what it's called, a side chat. Again, I have no problem to bring people in. Again, we for right now we're using Google Hangout. I'm trying to get Skype and other stuff to get back in so people and other people could join in. Um and also just to stand out to let people know that if again, please, if you can subscribe, go to Project Over Mike on YouTube, subscribe. You want to help, if you think what I'm talking about or what we are talking about is pretty cool and have a relevance to what's going around, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't really care. It's both ways. If you don't like it, you thumbs it down. I'm open to that because I understand dissent, but talk about your dissent of what I don't, it is. And if you want a conversation, we'll figure it out. You can go to Project Open Mic T3 at gmail.com is a straight line to us. Then you have on Twitter or Instagram is also Project Open Mics. You can check that out. And we're going to open up more venues, of course, for conversation. The thing is that I'm saying this because the first year, maybe two, I'm going to fund everything myself. So I'm not asking you for the money. I'm not asking you to donate nothing. I just want you to subscribe, share the word. That's a bigger help to what we're doing here at Project Open Mic than anything else. Share the video, like the video, subscribe, comment. Like I said, like it, don't like it, doesn't bother to me. If you said, tell why you like it, tell you why you don't like it, and just share it. That's all we're trying to get it high in their algorithm, so we kind of get a little impervious to certain things, or we could get our podcast on a lot of things, from Apple to iTunes to Pandora to multiple more venues. So that's what I want to do. And we're gonna have if you go to Project Open Mic on YouTube, and you're gonna jump over to Library and BitChute, where we're gonna have different types of videos that we're gonna expand to talking about not just political stuff or jovial stuff like on the side chat. Um, they're gonna be a men's corner, and they're gonna be a men and female kind of a section where we talk to be kings and queens. Because I like I've said before, with the episode 7 all the way to 9, how we feel our kids. I myself don't have children. I have a little sister that I raised little nieces and nephews tangentially and help them out. But I want to not just talk negativity. I want to give solutions, just like in Project Over My episode with the I think it's 11, when I said cops are not angels. I give solutions to how we could do certain things. So I don't want to just be a hopper. I want to also help people understand economics, understand certain things, because as a lot of Black Lives Matter was saying, because I'm Black, that I had a disadvantage in this world. Now I grew up in a situation where it was not extremely wealthy or whatever. I just had a nice family structure, thank God for that. But I worked my butt off and got to where I'm at today, where basically financially, almost, I mean, technically, other than house and helping my sister with a car, that's about it. I'm basically financially free of burdens and everything, and have investments, have savings, have a lot of stuff in case of everything. As this year turned out to show that if you don't prepare, as one of my grandma's saying is, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So I just want to knock that off. That's one. That's two. And the third thing I want to knock off at the top is this. So with the Black Lives Matter thing, before we dig deeper into what I was going to into the show, is this. In the RNC, there's a guy named Rand Paul, senator. He's a libertarian, but he's on the Republican side. He a lot of things. If a lot of things he say, a lot of things he say, I agree with. And there's some things I don't agree with. And that's one thing about Project Open Mic that I try to tell people. You're not going to agree with a person 100%. If you're doing that, you're a slave. And, as much as people want to talk about this kind of situation, but you'll be a slave. So let's not do that. But I do. But, when he came from the RNC and was going back to his hotel, he got accosted by a lot of people from Black Lives Matter, and they have this chanting that they have, say their names, with Breonna Taylor and everything else. I've done made my thing about Breonna Taylor, but else in how that worked. It's misfortunate that the young lady got shot. I get that, and we want justice for the cops, what it is. But the thing about it is, they're telling him, say her name, you don't care about them, and accosting him and his wife, but they don't know he's the author in the bill to stop. It's called the Breonna Taylor bill. Funny how that is. So he knows the name and he's using it as a bill to stop no-knock warrants. I have explained why no-knock warrants is why it's useful. But in the case of an apartment and a house in a not a nice city, in any neighborhood, an apartment, a house, even if it's in the ghetto, whatever, in a situation that these guys brought it up, the cops and everything, it's not good. In warehouses, in commercial setups and everything, yes, but in like homes where nobody knows what's going on and certain things, yeah, it's not a good thing at all. So it is something that I wish a lot of people could just give me a second there. It is one of those things where I agree that I know I'm with Van Paul. I know not warranted. It needs its limitations. Also, we need limitations on how that if judges and cops have this enmity from certain crimes because they again unintentional. I understand that, but if it does make a mistake to cause something, you have like involuntary manslaughter stuff because it happened. So that crime should be onto the cops. So if something happened and turned out way worse without being, that's not really a justified. And also judges get that same nonsense too. So again, that's the kind of situation that a lot of people don't know about. And you see what's going on right now. So that's three. That's the three things I wanted to set up at the front. Now we're gonna go to, like I said, I've talked about this before, and I'll say this again. Read. It's where they have an arrogance. I give them that. That they still on blacklivesmatter.com, they still have that mission statement up there. You would think as a lot of people read it, you'd be like, oh, let me change it. Let me change it. No, they have that cockiness that their mission statement is a good thing. I'm not, like I've said it before. The phrase, no problem, but it got hijacked. It got hijacked. And that's the messed up part. So when I see people on Facebook, when I see people on the news and everything, have the mask and everything and saying that, I think they're innocently just saying, hey, Black Lives Matter, which I have nothing against that. Do what you have to do. But majority of those people, if I ask them certain questions, they don't know what they're talking about politically or what the organization is about. They don't. So there's a, like I said, right now they have, I thought, they have different chapters. I already showed you a video of the Chicago chapter. The leader of Black Lives Matter, her talking about steal from stores, and and they're like, oh, don't steal from Gucci. I don't care about Gucci and all that stuff. Okay, you might not don't care that, but how is that called reparations? Why stealing stuff like that is crazy? And I have another video that I might have to break down. I need to start my other series on my YouTube channel called Straight No Chaser, where we just talk about what's going on. So, with that said, like I said, people put on, if you go, like I said, on my Facebook, I don't put, like right now, I think I have like blessed on my photo. Like I don't put no rainbow colors. I do not put no all that political stuff on there because you know what, it's not needed. I talked to it on the show, on the radio show here, but that's how I do it. So seeing that these people are shouting out communism and all this stuff and do not and Marxists and everything and don't go down the road of understanding this. I did read up on an article that talks about what a lot of people have gotten why they say conservatives, but they mean Republicans, but it made no difference. Labels for what it is. But because I say leftist to that, but I read this article talking about why they got wrong about Marxism, and I read through it, and I was dumbfounded still, even though they said human nature. For some reason, they think all humans are apparently good. I don't get that. Humans are not all born good, and they're not all born bad. We have the freedom to ourselves. I can only control, just like you or anybody else is hearing this. You can only control your hands, your feet, your thoughts is your own bum. It's your hands, your feet. That's it. That's all you can control. That's all the space you got to do. And some people take these same things and do good, breaking somebody out of a car, giving CPR, and some people or cutting to a chest and doing surgery and everything. God bless everybody who does the good thing with their hands and feet. But there are people out there who do bad things with their hands and feet, punching a person, brandishing a weapon, knocking them over the head, taking a rock, throwing it at an old person, hitting them across the head. That's not good. Or as the Portland guy did, he ran, sucker kicked the guy in the face. That's all stuff that happens, and nobody you need to take the responsibility of what that's going on with. So I when I look at that and I read your article, I was like, you got to be kidding me, really? You forget human nature, which is always going to tend to certain things, no matter how far back we have gone, and showed in like history. I know they always say with the whole changing history, whatever. In history, they are trying to forget learning or experiences. A lot of these kids have they have technology at their really at their forefront. They have the technology, but oops, sorry about that. They have the technology, but they don't have the wisdom. They don't have the experience. They've been these colleges, with the critical race theory, which is bogus, and all that stuff. Like these things are being taught to the kids, and they're being indoctrinated from a small age up to college. I want to go back to the days of when the kids use ABCs, one, two, threes, even math. Like I've done on the show and showed you, even math they're trying to change to turn into subjective instead of objective, and all the other stuff. These are not good things that they are passing to these kids. It's just not. So, with that, speaking of that, it's just to see these kids say certain things again. As I showed a video on the channel where a young lady was shouting at a black man, and he again said that men like him are not super prevail in the Black American community as much as they used to be. But just stating, um shouting at the guy, and the guy had to calm to be calm and just said okay. As they shout, she's like, get out of the way, get the F out of the way, blah blah blah, I'm gonna tear down the statue, whatever. And it was a Lincoln Emancipation statue, and she was saying, all he said is, "Do you even know your history?" She said, "Yes, I know your history." Cursing at the guy as usual again, but he said, "Okay, I'll move out the way." That's the calmness that I like that black man showed, and many black men that was around that area. He was like, "I will move out the way if you tell me who paid for the statue." And of course, she couldn't answer the question because she did not know, and and those people interpret the statue the wrong way. The statue, yes, there is a black man, a slave, in handcuffs, but it's broken. Looks like they're saying it looks like he's kneeling down to Lincoln. No, Frederick Douglass is the person, and basically slaves paid for the statue to tell, because what happened is it's that Lincoln broke it with the Emancipation Proclamation, and he was telling them to rise. You are now free, and there's a reason why he got, if you know what I mean, to the head, because they didn't like that. That's why he got. That's why they took him out. And you will see another reason why they took another person out, because they didn't like what he was saying either. Same thing with Martin Luther King. Same thing with Malcolm X as well. To all those people who got killed because of that situation. So again, Black lives do matter. I don't go to the point of saying all lives matter because, to be honest, from my perspective, for me, it is a double entendre. Like I said, double meaning to me. I believe that a lot of people lives matter, but I'll be disingenuous to you if I say all lives matter, because there's some people out there who've done some heinous things. As I played a audio video of a situation happened in San Francisco with a friend of mine who lost. Again, Black Lives Matter. Her husband was black, and her two kids were mixed, black and Hispanic, but their two kids got killed by Hispanic. But again, illegal. But my point is, he got killed just because they wanted a car. My cousin got killed just being in a bar, just trying to get something to drink. A friend of mine's, she got raped just because whatever. I showed a video last, which you guys didn't see for those on Facebook, but in a regular show, which again you can go back and check it out. And I am gonna update the Project Open Mic on YouTube because I gotta put it in the playlist so you could easily be congested. This guy just walked up and humped a girl in was basically trying to rape a girl in broad daylight at the subway. The girl didn't do nothing until somebody pulled her from the back and nobody helped her. And that's another thing that's sad too, because I saw there's a video where a lady was like, she's more angry to know that of the two guys who didn't help her she was angry at the two guys that didn't help her, and the guy who was molesting her, assaulting her, she was like, "Oh, he didn't know he was doing." I'm like, "He know he was doing, and he was doing horrible things, but because the other guys didn't help her." And again, I feel where she's coming from, but there's been a syndrome of people who try to do good Samaritan work and they getting sued and people take their livelihoods away, you know, because they pull them out of their car and they got maybe a cut hair and they might have something and they sue. It's like it's all weirdness. Okay, it's just all weirdness. But crime has gone up a lot. I'll basically show you that, like the stats, like for New York and everything. Oh, the crime has gone up. People getting hurt from since George Floyd. A lot of people has gotten killed that are black. Now, as I point out, George Floyd, to his family and to everybody else, should have Chauvin have put his knee on George Floyd's neck? No. More videos has come out that he was saying he can't breathe way before they did anything. And I'm preparing you right now, those, I don't know about Chauvin to a degree because of it's hard to prove it, but it could be politically expedient to how they do certain things. But the other three cops, they're not gonna get convicted. They're not, because they was being as nice as they can to George Floyd. He was on fentanyl, which is a crazy thing. Just like the guy up in New York who was the video came out and it's to show, and he died asphyxiation a week after the cops, the cops did. It's weird. He was out high on drugs. It's snowing and he's out there naked. The guy and a brother called him. It's not. Listen, it's not conducive that happened. Again, that's just crazy that people don't take the drugs part of it in that regard. I don't know if that guy was a correct criminal or not. I didn't look into Daniel. I think I forgot his last name, Daniel stuff. But I do know there's some people who had criminal stuff, and like people talk about Jacob Blake. Sorry, there are more and more videos going to show that the dude just, I don't know what he was thinking. And I did saw the interview with him, and it's funny what he said. I respect him for saying the good stuff he said, which was great. That we need to look around at a situation. We should not be a firebrand and all that stuff. I kind of like Whitney Houston when I met her when I was young, with the whole thing with drugs and how and the industry stuff, but the drug stuff. I wish y'all take your own advice. A little bit of rules for the enough for me. Take your own advice, and you would have never got in the situation that you were in, sir. And Kamala Harris went there and said, "I'm proud of you." Of what? Of I don't know what. I can't look at it and see what to be proud of. I'm not gonna sugarcoat words for nobody. I don't see it. Just like I do not see why we had to have 3 funerals, celebrities and everybody coming out for George Floyd's funeral. The first one funeral will make sense. Maybe the second one to go because you come from North Carolina. Okay, that should have been a private thing, not a public outcry super with all this stuff, because you're raising him to a higher level. If I had kids, no, I would tell him no. What, he was a career criminal. He died from overdose of mostly drugs and fentanyl. And fentanyl is a very potent drug. Did Chauvin knee on his neck help? No, it did not. Was that procedure? No, it was not. He should be reprimanded, and I think he should be off the force, and he should be in jail. I agree that he should do that, but let's look at it case by case, because everything is not straight. I see celebrities saying that black men fear for their lives, and I do not. I do not. I mean, cops have done crazy stuff. I've been pulled over by cops. I've talked about it in another video, and I'll do a specific video on that for about being pulled over by cops while driving to being black. I've had that situation. The problem is though, I don't elevate it no more than it needs to be. I think that's another thing that I talked about in why we don't help our kids or why we fail our kids. We need to teach our kids to just not elevate stuff. I saw a video of road rage, all black people, road rage. They're fighting in the street. One guy put out a gun. They're fighting to keep him from using a gun. Good thing, whatever. An off-duty cop came. Off-duty cop came, and he saw it, and he got the gun, and he kicked the gun away from the guy, and he held him down. He was off duty because he was in his regular, but it is a police car, just unmarked. You can see it. You can see the computers and everything in it. And this, the person who was recording the video was a black male. You could tell like an older gentleman, and he was recording the video. And it's weird. I might do a series called asking questions because I swear I don't understand certain people when they do certain things. It puzzles me. My question, like, hey ladies, why you do this? Hey guys, why you do this? Why do you do these things? It just makes no logical sense to me. The reason I say that because when the cop was there, and he's calling for backup, and then even the guy who's recording had has a phone. He was talking to a dispatcher. He said, "It's the armor officer car, whatever. Ma'am, can you get the cop? He needs backup because it was three guys, about five or six girls. The guys in the altercation, they were standing back. The women was talking and all up close to the cop. Why? Oh, he putting a gun in his like he tried it. Like, ma'am, he tried to gun you down. I'm just you trying to be a black man. I'm black too. It makes no sense what you're saying. And funny enough, the first person to show that in a police thing and everything was another black police officer, and then came other cops. But it was like they're walking around the cop. He can't keep somebody down and look around. That's dangerous. The guys were standing back, but the women were. I don't get it. Why would you keep on just going there and just, oh my gosh. Then you get accident, the situation that we put people in. So I do feel for the cops that they are in situations that's messed up. I had a argument with a person who on not Facebook, I met in person, whatever, but like me and her, and she was like that in a one long time ago in Texas with a pool where the cop should never pull his gun on the kids. You are surrounded by a lot of people. I told her, look at the slow motion in the video. Look at the slow motion in the video. Where the kids was like when they were handcuffing the girls, because a lot of young people got their pants sagging low. They got to reach behind their back and pull up their pants. With everything going on, and he's looking around, all he sees is a hand behind the back. He don't know what they got, so he pulled the gun out. Did he had to know? But here's the point. I understand the situation. And I told her, look at the video, slow it down, and you'll see it. And she did. And she's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. I'm not saying the cops should pull guns on kids, but let's be honest about things. Seriously. That's why I've said it. When any altercation happens, give it 40 to 72 hours. Give it a time. Let's see what comes out. Initially, it's not what it always seems. Majority of times, it's not. Majority of time, it is not what people see. So you might get more videos, you might get more stuff. The body cam video might be something. And again, I don't like how the DAs of these cities are doing this political standard. That's why I said, sure, it could be that. Could get convicted still because of political expediency, but that I don't like that, because we have your body cams. I'm for body cams. Let's put out body cam. Let's show the body cams. I don't like that the ALCU is saying about we don't need to put out the body cam picture. Wait. You guys argue earlier, in the teens, we need body cam so we know what these cops are doing. Now that they're showing that the cops are doing, and it shows that these cops are doing justified stuff, good or bad, justified of this shooting or whatever. Now you want to stop it? You can't double speak like that. You just can't. It's not a good thing. It's not helping the situation. So that's why I talk about that stuff. Not helping the situation at all. We need to teach these young kids, hey, you get pulled over. It sucks. Yes, it happens. We profile. We always profile. I don't like when people are like, oh, we don't profile bad or we judge people. Yes, we do. We're human. Human nature does it. Any woman who I hate when a lot of women say about only God could judge me and all that. No, a judge could judge you. If you are a judge, you did a crime, you're gonna get judged. If you're in a contest show, you're gonna get judged. Stop that. Stop that. It's ridiculous to say that say that stuff. Okay? You're missing genders with that, and I hate that. It's just crazy. Oh, you can't be judged. Yes, you can. It's just crazy. Oh, profile bad on our stuff. Okay, you tell me. I give an example. I give 100% example. People might not like it, but it's the truth though. That's what kills me. Let's not pretend this stuff. So I was listening to a podcast about men and female relationship, and they were talking about generalization. And the whole people are you stereotyping the generalization. Sorry if it falls that way. That I know. You remember the old saying: if it quacks like a duck, talk. If it swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, walk like a duck, it's a duck. That's a stereotype, but it's a duck. So we do certain things. Not all people do things, and that's what I'm explaining right here now. Before I get into the meat and the potatoes of the whole thing, I'm sorry that I have to go through this, but it's just stuff that was on my mind. Tell me in the comment section on any other platforms what you think. Who are listening to this from Facebook to Temple FM to YouTube. But in that they were saying it's kind of crazy. It's just like when in September 11, funny enough, coming tomorrow, September 11, that we judge all Muslims about this, that this is going to be happening or whatever. Okay, and I wish I could talk to a person like that and said, okay, I got you. I flew after September 11, but you're gonna tell me honestly that you saw what happened on September 11th, and you went on a plane. You didn't even think that when you see people walking around with certain garbs. Get out of here. Stop lying. Stop lying. You did. You did. Everybody did. It's wrong that happened. But here's the point. Here's the point of bringing up. When people use the words, they got to use it correctly. And I'm telling this to people out there to understand this. Look, I just I profile. I look at stuff. I don't see crazy stuff. If I see, let me help you out with this. If I see a dude walking towards me, head it all up, his pants sagging, all that stuff, a black dude walking towards me, I'm keeping my eye on him. Now, here's how it is with people talking about, the profiling and all that other stuff. Here's the thing before it becomes bigotry and race or whatever you want to call it. It's a fine line. And here's the line. I would be stupid to not look at that and say, okay, that's dangerous. Let me keep an eye on to pass. Here's the thing though. If I don't act on it, then act on it, then it's nothing happened. I was keeping eye on tag on something because it represents danger from my experience and what I've seen. Now, here's the thing. If that person acted on what I thought he could do, and I'm prepared for it, then I'm gonna be the reaction, and at least I was alert enough to protect myself. God forbid anything go worse than it needs to be. Just like they had the one in Texas where the guy walked up to the car, and they were talking or whatever, and a guy came and shot him, and he got shot in the thing, but he took back his gun and shot the other guy. Yeah, you see a gun, be prepared for something. I didn't. So if the guy acted on me, looking at, I think that's something bad. This guy's trying to be a thug or whatever it is, and he acted on it, and I protect myself. I was prepared for the worst. Like I said, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Now, if I acted on it and just say stuff to him and be, then that's being racist. That's being bigoted. That's being a jerk. That's being everything you could think of. That is correct. But if he walks past, nothing happens, and we ain't got no altercation, then you know what? I'm happy. He was not one of those people. He just wanted to be like that. He walked by, and I walked by. And to be 100% correct, if this was an Asian or white guy who had the same kind of stuff on his pants, then I'll be thinking the exact same thing. It's not a color thing. It's why would you try to imitate something that's perceived a bad look? Not all people is the old saying. People like to say, "Oh, Trump supporters are racist." No, not all Trump supporters are racist, but they are racist Trump supporters. There are racists who are Trump supporters. Not all Democrats are communists, but there are a lot of communists and socialists that are Democrats. Not all black people are good, and not all black people are bad. Not all white people are good, not all white people are bad. That's why I have my phrase of evil comes in all shapes, sizes, color, creeds, nationality, gender, you name it. Evil is just evil. And that's why I call it out. Evil is just evil. Right? So let's not pretend this nonsense. And with that saying, I'll play a little clip right here quick again. Remember, check this out. Remember, I've said it. There are black people who are they say themselves. I played a video. They are Marxists who kind of didn't like black people and was a bourgeoisie, but I degraded from the Marxist stuff, like I said, in a weird way, but had that. But they got a lot of the people who are doing the writing and stuff and doing the most disgusting things. There's some black people who are doing it, some, but there are a lot of white leftists are doing this, and those are the true white, the white S word. I'm just trying to whatever. They got a couple on the right, and that's true. I'm not gonna deny that, but they want to be left alone, want their own stuff. The one on the left, they all up in your business. Want to tell you or tell me how I should live. That I'm too stupid to get a voter's ID. I'm too stupid to understand how I should be raising my family. I'm too stupid to not get an education. I don't need your help. Leave me the hell alone. Again, I'm speaking for me. A lot of people they want the hand out of help, and I don't understand this. Just like Lyndon Baines Johnson when he said those, give me the great society, and I will have those N's, the N word, voting for me for the next 200 years. A guy who said the N word a lot of time, a guy who was a staunch racist, a guy who was, and he only got there because of assassination of Kennedy. For people up saying you like this stuff, so don't you kind of think it's weird that a guy who's that involved and that want to say the most horrible thing, give you something doesn't that's a weird thing, and it basically tearing down the black's family and families all generate all together in all kind of race brackets. But again, they have Stalin called those people useful idiots, socialists. Stalin said useful idiots, a person who killed more people than Hitler, but for some reason nobody wants to talk about that. He killed 40 million. Why they get 20? Was it bad? Yes, both are bad. But let me see. 40 is a bigger number than 20. Just like Mao Zedong is 80. He killed more than Stalin. He was communist. Weird how that works. Now that this number thing, how it works out. But let me put. Like I said, I'll play a quick clip about this, and we go into the meat and potatoes of this show. Like I said, all this stuff was stuff on my mind that I had, and I just wanted to get it out in the most precise way so people understand where I'm coming from. And again, everything I've said, go check it out. I'd rather you go and search these things to find out all this information or stuff I'm talking about, because I always want people to look for knowledge and gain their wisdom by the experiences. So let's go to that. Like I said, I'll just play this little clip right here. Again, these I showed multiple videos on. You can go back to recent shows where I show videos, and you see majority of the agitators. One, majority of agitators come from different cities. Two, majority of agitators who scream Black Lives Matter are white leftists who's saying that because and doing horrible things, and they're bringing it down. They're bringing the word. It's the phrase itself. It got hijacked. That's why I stated that in the for the show description. But listen to this. Like I said, this is just one piece of a lot of stuff on show right now.
Too. Chemical agents were sprayed from both sides, including pepper spray, CS gas, and bear spray. A black bishop from Milwaukee, Oregon, was caught in the face and took bear spray to the face when he was trying to counsel the groups and bring them together to discuss their differences. And a black speaker, a black woman who wanted to speak in favor of the police, was splashed with a huge amount of human urine by a white man. Black woman drowned in urine by a white guy screaming Black Lives Matter.
Okay. Does that make logical sense to you? Does that make logical sense to anybody? A black woman got doused by urine by a white man screaming Black Lives Matter. Wow. Hypocrite much. That's what you're gonna be seeing right now. So let's boy. It's weird. It's just weirdness in this world. Okay. Well, on with the show. How certain things are the way it is.
In the wake of the murder of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter has risen to new heights of national prominence. Black Lives Matter has become the chant of choice for the massive protest movement, the hashtag of choice to signal support for ending police brutality, and by the mayor's order even became the new name of the plaza outside the White House. With such consensus around ending police brutality, many wonder in frustration how anyone could have a problem with Black Lives Matter. Are they racist? Do they not care about Black lives? In fact, the left and right are often discussing different things and don't realize they're talking past each other.
And that's a distinction that needs to be pointed out. They are talking past each other. That's why I'm using this to show everybody out there. They're talking past each other. It's a horrible thing, but sometimes that's why conversation needs to happen. That's why I'm talking about this stuff right here. Conversation needs to happen. Communication, conversation, talking to certain things. Not all things will be squashed because of a conversation. Okay, and that's why when people say, "Oh, we gotta stop police brutality," again with reality, I agree with them. Problem is, you're not gonna stop. You're not gonna get 100%. You're not gonna get 100% of many things because every situation is its own thing. That's why when people are talking about what happened in Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot. Again, Obama said that that didn't happen. Eric Holder, you go check who they are. Again, President Obama said it. Looking at the evidence and everything, and the video evidence said no, that didn't happen. Eric Holder, which I do not like, but he also said that did not happen. So that narrative, everybody keeps using the narrative, but that didn't happen. Yes. So people didn't like that. The cop got out of it, but video cam from the cars, witnesses, again, they went at it and they said, yeah, that did not happen. That's why the cop got accelerated. In those situations right there, that is not. Some people perceive that as police abuse. Some of that will perceive it as basically as in that situation where the facts came out. That the facts came out. Wow, yeah, that didn't happen. And again, it would never got to that point if, of course, if he did not strong arm and try to steal from the store. If he had just walked out of the store, did nothing, he would have been alive to this day. That's why I said with the George Floyd and everything, if he didn't took that fentanyl, he would have been alive to this day. Jacob Blake had basically put the knife down and listened to the cops and got his hand handcuffed. He would have never got shot 7 times in his back. I'm not saying that it should be the situation, but let's look at the truth of how things are. I forgot the name of the one in what you call it, in in California, in LA, the kid, when it specifically told him, put your hands behind your head, and he reached in his pocket. They shouted to him a couple times, he reached in the pockets. Yeah, to open fire because they they told you that. Now, if they had said he was deaf and he didn't know that and all that stuff, it still didn't a crime, but he didn't know that. Okay, I even give a little more leniency to it. But let's just be honest about it. Now, the kid who got shot in his apartment in Texas, that one, no. The lady who got, which I disagree. I'm happy for the family for being very they're religious and they're very forgiving, and that's all cool. But you went to another person's apartment and just shot him? No. That should have been bring up more better. The other one in Atlanta when the door was open and the cop went around and shot the lady because they're playing their video games. That was not a good thing. That cop should have has responsibility for that. We need to call every one of these situations as a different situations, so you will not get 100% this and police brutality because you don't know. And like he ain't gonna bring it up, but I'll bring it up on people on the right side. That the statistics of all these 9 men got shot last year, whatever. Police brutality, unarmed and all that stuff. Just because they didn't have a gun, right, doesn't mean that police couldn't do other stuff. Like they said, Chauvin didn't have a gun, but he had his knee on his neck. That doesn't. So you got to be careful. Oh, you guys are wrong on that when you also use the statistic. Yes, killing, I get that. But police brutality is not always ending death. As you can see with Jacob Blake, as they call it police brutality, it's not that, but he's still alive, just paralyzed to the thing. But yeah, his story is just getting worse and worse of why he should have never been there in the first place. But let's continue.
To the center left, Black Lives Matter is a decentralized rallying cry to bring attention to the cause of police violence. But to the right and the far left, Black Lives Matter is a specific group with specific chapters and leadership with goals that go far beyond ending police brutality. Black Lives Matter's Her Story began in 2013 when
See, and this race tension crap at all is Her Story. Oh, shut up. Oh, I hate that thing. But again, it's just weird. Sorry, I apologize. Just a little gripe.
Three self-described radical organizers, self-described trained Marxists, all with ties to explicitly socialist and communist groups, created the famed hashtag. Soon after, they founded the Black Lives Matter Global Network, which now has over 40 chapters. Black Lives Matter Detroit clarifies, quote, "What do we mean when we write, speak, or shout Black Lives Matter? To focus only on police brutality is to address merely a portion of the problem. So what's the rest of it?" Black Lives Matter DC self-describes as radical too and seeks not just the abolition of white supremacy, but also capitalism and alleged patriarchy and colonialism. Black Lives Matter Chicago also works to deconstruct capitalism and describes itself as intersectional. Intersectionality means that the movement must pay attention to all alleged oppressed voices, not just Black lives. Black Lives Matter Michigan and Nashville include globalism on their list of priorities, and Black Lives Matter Toronto demands that the federal government must create a regularization program so that all undocumented residents can live here. Many of the chapters explain that when we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. Black Lives Matter Los Angeles states that one of their goals is toppling white supremacist, patriarchal, heteronormative capitalism. Black Lives Matter Vancouver states that they center the lived experiences of Black people who are queer, trans, non-binary, live with disabilities, and/or do sex work. Black Lives Matter Nashville even bizarrely claims that we are committed to disrupting the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. To be clear, fighting racism and other forms of discrimination is good and needed. But does one have to combat heteronormative capitalism to fight homophobia? Do we need to have complete open immigration to combat xenophobia? Do we have to center people who do sex work? Black Lives Matter Vancouver demands abolishing police and prisons. Is that a realistic solution for poor neighborhoods?
No.
Most conservatives support capitalism not because it keeps them in power and others oppressed, but because we believe private property and markets best allow everyone to improve their quality of life, especially those who are, for now, the least well off. But Black Lives Matter Los Angeles insists it's not enough to replace white capitalism with black capitalism. We have to engage in cooperative economics.
I'm gonna pause right there because that one I read through that stuff and I had to laugh. I had to laugh at this nonsense. So, what the heck is black capitalism? What the heck is that? Because if it's what I think it is, I don't want it. Because again, go to these neighborhoods. Majority of these neighborhoods who are bad and whatever. And remember, I showed on if you go back to the side chat, there was a lady who was arguing with Asian people saying that you stole our culture, which is weird, and said that this should be a black business owned company because they sell tea, which is when did tea became a black thing? It's every culture has a different form of tea, so it's kind of weird. Vikings, Asians, blacks, whites, Indians. Everybody has a different form of tea. Mexicans, like you could go through the whole list. But the reason I say what with black capitalism is the joke is this is like you go to those neighborhoods. I've been there, and that's happened to me too. You will spend the money you will give to the white person, you will give to the Middle Eastern person, the Asian person, you give the money, right? You spend multiple millions of dollars on weave and hair for the ladies, and guys are spending crazy amount of money on shoes and all that other stuff. But if a black person is selling it, because if I wanted to, I could go to I could just go to YouTube and see black business, how people steal from them. They always like, give me the hookup. If the hookup that's the situation, I don't want that nonsense. Just don't. I was funny. It was like, oh man, I'm black like you, man. Just give me the hookup. No, pay the full price like everybody else. If you don't like what you see, then move on. If you don't have the money for it, move on. Stealing is bad in any situation. And as I was like, black capitalism? What? And again, capitalism is good and bad. It has its problems, just like any other thing. But it's a little bit. It's like there's an old saying of, it's the worst form of of doing business and everything. It's the worst form of it, but all the others, socialism, all the other stuff is worse. It's really worse. And I'm gonna bring up another. I didn't say correctly. I forgot really the true phase of it, but I'll bring up something close to that in another thing that I'm going to show. But again, yeah, it's just weird.
And the Black Lives Matter Global Network has supported some of history's most brutal communist dictators. When Fidel Castro died, they declared, "We are feeling many things as we awaken to a world without Fidel Castro." There's an overwhelming sense of loss complicated by fear and anxiety. Although no leader is without their flaws, we must push back against the rhetoric of the right and come to the defense of El Comandante. Black Lives Matter is attempting to co-opt people's desire to end police brutality into a much larger agenda. And it's working. Even before the George Floyd protests, Black Lives Matter has received massive donations from billionaire left-wing foundations.
Yep.
Since the protests, donations to Black Lives Matter have become common from big business. We need real solutions to improve policing, end police brutality, and improve the lives of Black Americans. Unfortunately, Black Lives Matter offers no such thing. For one solution, watch CRC's video.
So I give that all those companies give to that. All right. Now, that is true, and it's sad. You know, every chapter have their own thing that goes a little crazy with some of this stuff. They really do. Everyone has it. I don't understand. And the part where Black Lives Matter said, because I read that in the thing when he's saying about, we need to get rid of Western nuclear family. They were, in that same paragraph, they were talking about let me see if I could slow it down at that spot and see if they have it, if this video has it, because I brought it up in that situation. Because they were talking about the whole thing about Africa and how about yeah, we could it takes a village to raise people. All right. I don't think I could find it. Let me see. It should be down here. The globalism thing, no, which is crazy. I gotta know that. Okay, yeah. Like it showed right here because I read the thing now. We are committed to disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family requirement by supporting each other with our extended families and villages. In a collective, we are one another, and especially our children to degree that mother, parent, child, and children are comfortable. Which is funny. You could say mother, parent, but you can't say father. That's another thing about Black Lives Matter I don't like. As a black male, which is where when I see a lot of black males go for this, they don't like you until you are, I don't know, that way. You're 6 feet under, you're useful. Above that, no. They don't fight for you and fight for you with that stuff. Now, like I said, they'd say, "Oh, let's raise for villages." Okay, here's the problem with that. If your village is bad, you're not gonna get productive citizens. I've said it before. I said it in the same thing, that video as well as I said before. If the village is bad, it's gonna have not gonna have the productive of it. It's sad and it does suck. That's something that needs to be addressed. Okay. So let's go on. So that's looking at what the organization says. And I played a clip earlier of what happened to a black woman doing this. Let's take it to the streets. Let's see what we really see.
There's nowhere to go. Move. Get out of the way. There's nowhere to go. Because you killed my brother. Move. Move. Get out of the way. Get out.
I paused to show you that. A black woman trying to drive. And know this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All white kids. All white kids. And as she said, they killed her brother, but all white kids shouting Black Lives Matter, but they're stopping a black woman from getting home. You telling me how that work?
Out of the way. You setting fires in the street? No, that's violent. Okay?
Thank you.
That's violent. Get out of my way.
Fuck that law. Fuck your fucking independent
Oh crap! Dang it! I apologize.
state.
My fault. I forgot the video I'm using has words in it. I apologize to that. Sorry. I forgot, and I didn't go into it. So yes, it has discretionary view for that, and it has cursing in it. I apologize for that. That's my fault. But let's go. Remember, as I said, Black Lives Matter against capitalism, other stuff. People say, oh, they do not stand for this stuff, for destruction. They just want to make sure that the police are accountable and all that stuff. Which again, I have nothing against that, and make sure that Black lives are relevant and saying the phrase. I have nothing against the phrase, but they've been taken over. And I said again, it's funny how to see a lot of these black youths say stuff, but technically speaking, if you read all the chapters, they're more for mother, gender bending, all the other stuff more than you could give it a patriarchy. As they said, they don't care for a male set, because you can see it's 3 women who created Black Lives Matter, so you can understand that.
We need a revolution in order to overthrow this system, bring a whole new communist world into being. Bring a whole new communist world into being.
Revolution, nothing less.
Again, bunch of white kids again. You see it, and it's funny. A lot of people don't understand. They take these words revolution. If you really go and see what happened to the bourgeoisie revolution in again, that's why 40 million people got killed in Russia or in China or in France. I don't think you guys really want that. Again, of course, same thing with other countries from Mexico to down to South America and everything. Again, Tiananmen Square, bad thing. Everybody see the video where I said it multiple times. That kid walked up in front of the tank and it stopped, and people was like, "Oh, look, a child can stop a tank." The true video, it kept on going and killed it, just like I showed in the video about my people in that episode where they were running over kids. They didn't care. Evil's evil. All right, I'll say it again. People are chilling, relaxing, eating food. It's supposed to be peaceful protesters.
Shutting your party down.
These people ain't did nothing to those people. White people.
If you don't give us our shit, don't shut shit down.
You guys really want to start this mess? These are
Garbage.
just messed up.
About the guy that died last week.
I like this one because it's just like the girl who was doing the older gentleman who kind of thing. Again, there are Black Lives Matter people who are doing. The true story was a guy who came up with the Black Lives. The guy who came up with it, he was doing good with that, but he got hijacked by this organization, and this organization let the white leftists hijack that. It kept on getting hijacked into what is going on now. That's when I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He was like, "Well, what would happen if somebody took on what you did?" I will basically said outright, these people do not represent, like I said, but me, black people don't represent me, I don't represent them. These people do not represent me. They're bad, blah, blah, blah. You take care of them, they do the stuff. They're not a part of my movement. because that's how we set up. I remember when Black Lives Matter really did start with, I forgot the name of the creator. I'll go back and I can't search it right now, but the guy who did it, he was going around and picking up trash in most of these bad neighborhoods, picking up trash, helping old ladies, helping old men, doing stuff. That was awesome. That I could get behind, and that I was like, oh man, stuff like that needs to happen more. But it got hijacked. It just did. And now you're seeing the stuff that you're getting now. That's the bad part. But listen carefully.
Where was all this when those 38 kids were killed in Chicago in July with the defunct police bullshit?
People die all the time.
No, people die all the time. You guys won't come out. You won't come out when babies die. But when a criminal gets shot, people. Now that's when you're gonna come out.
Garbage.
So y'all didn't care if this was a black-owned gas station or not?
Hell no.
My
Black-owned station. You just said they don't care.
shit, yo. I was protesting with y'all. I think I just broke in my shit. Fuck you.
She ain't lying though. They breaking the wrong shit.
Garbage.
Cry me a river, build me a bridge, and then get the fuck over it.
Yo, dude, what would you say to people that are like, there's children sleeping in houses, there's people who have to go to work tomorrow? What would you...
In this situation, what happened is they blocked the road. Also, they're going through the neighborhood, screaming, making a lot of using air horns and all that stuff to keep people awake.
say to them?
Some of us have to go to work in the morning too, and we've been out here for 89 days.
Do you have to go to work tomorrow?
No.
You fucking donkey!
We gotta, for example, why in God's name don't we teach history in history classes?
Because the history classes that y'all teaching is indoctrination, not the true history.
A black man invented the light bulb, not a white guy named Edison. Okay? We gotta give people facts.
What the actual fuck did you just say to me right now? Get out of my sight.
And the funny part about it is the true ventures that black people have done. Only in Black History Month do people bring up majority of them, which is true. And after that, gone. They don't talk about it again. It's weird. That's why I like that interview with Morgan Freeman when he said, we need to get rid of Black History Month, which is correct. I agree with him. Why would you regulate a black just to a month? So stupid. Black history is American history, just like Black African history is all of it, from black to white to whatever. Because again, there are people who are white. Again, remember, African American doesn't really mean is hitting no nationality to nationality. Elon Musk, he's white, but he's an African American. Same thing with what's her name again? Not Irma Thurman. I forgot the female actor. But they're white, but they're African American. But the situation, that's how you could see labels could get gone to a different way. And crime stats for New York in 2000, yeah. Murders up 47%. Burglary 21. 68 for Grand Theft Auto. 165%. Shooting. Now these guys are taking up chance too, of course. Down the way. Craziness. Craziness. I don't agree that they should drive. I'm 100% agree with you. I don't agree that they should have drive down and did that as well. We should be peaceful in all regards. I laugh at it, but it should not be done. So I condemn bad. Like you don't, as the old saying go, hate begets hate, begets hate. That's what it works. That's how it goes. That's not something good that we should pass on in that regard. Hate begets hate. It's a horrible thing. Okay. So that's how that situation works out. It's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing how that is. And I just want to play this other one, this last one again, because people always think, again, I'll say it for, like multiple times, even past this election. I'll say it if I keep on doing this radio show. I don't tell nobody to who they vote for. You vote for who you want to vote for. Okay, that's something people can change. I always tell people on something that's tangible, a bill or something where we know the pros and cons and it won't change. Like that SB 145 nonsense that was in California. I got past 62 about the whole thing that you don't have to go to jail or be registered as a sex offender if you had sex with a 14-year-old if you're 24, 25, 26. That's stupid. That is crazy. You get that is, oh my god, that's a horrible bill. Just disgusting. But passed. And the person who helped pass it is the most weirdos person. He just the dude should not be nowhere around nobody, technically speaking, I should say. Yeah, I guess that he should not be threatened by his family or nothing. But I know why they thought, because it's that messed up. So let's go with this.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire.
When Minneapolis burned after police killed George Floyd, people wondered, why would this happen in Minneapolis? This is a city where...
And I want to, before we go into this one, I would like to also point out something too. It's just weird. These guys are opportunists. Again, they come from different states to do these, and they don't live in the cities that they're trashing. None of that nonsense. They just roam around, as you heard what the woman said. Do I want a job? No. She ain't got a job. I guarantee you she has no skills other than, low labor. And I should give her $50 an hour for what now? I should give $50 for what? I don't think so. Stupid. But bringing that up, as I was saying in that regard, is that these agitators, you go to those, like go to the one when out of Chicago. A lot of the black people in Chicago living in the neighborhood say, take this mess out of here. Don't come destroying our cities. We're not down with that. They said it in New York. They said it in Chicago. They said it in Wichita. They said it in certain parts of Compton. Atlanta. They've said it. All the black people said it. We're not a part of this crap. Take that stuff away from it. But these are people come from other cities, other places, destroy stuff. And they just wait until something happens. You show anything. So whatever city there is that's run by, I ain't gonna say that. No, because he points it out too, as well too. Some city who are run by these crazy leftist Democrats and these weak punk. I want to say the word, but these weak Republicans. Majority is Democrats. Just but the Republicans are so weak that we don't. I'm not racist. Nobody said. Well, you listen to those fools. You're not racist, but you're doing stupid stuff, and you're letting your city game burn. And if you're if you're a Republican and you're in a city, like I said, like the 1-2 cities that have that, you should be voted out just as much as the Democrats should be voted out. You should be voted out. That's what I said. I'm not a party affiliate. Don't care. Wrong is wrong, no matter what side. Evil's evil, no matter what side. So as soon as this a black cop, a white cop does this, all right, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna riot. We're gonna do everything we can. That's what happens. They're waiting for that city to do something like that, and they go. You do that.
Politicians do most everything the protesters say they want.
The crowd erupted in cheers as the council voted unanimously to move ahead with a $15 minimum wage.
If you wanted a poster child for the progressive movement, it would be Minneapolis.
Minnesota Senate candidate Jason Lewis.
This is the same city council that voted to abolish the police department.
The council, which has no Republicans, spends money on most every progressive idea.
Climate change resilience and 80% reduction in.
Oh, and we're going to be talking about that in another part in our new thing of rules for thee, not for me. Aha.
Greenhouse gas emissions.
They applaud themselves for forcing businesses to give workers more time off. They push taxpayer-subsidized housing.
It took members less than 5 minutes to approve this ordinance.
They passed that higher minimum wage.
We have now won $15.
But the
Not really, because the businesses them are shutting down because of that. Worse, but now with the riots, and you're gonna do multiple jobs. People don't want. Again, a lot of people don't understand economics. That's the sad part.
Despite all those progressive policies meant to make life more fair,
The Minneapolis income gap between whites and African Americans is the second worst in the country.
that confuses the media. Minneapolis had progressive policies, says the Washington Post, but its economy still left black families behind. They choose the word but. The word should be therefore. After all,
When you take away the incentive for work and savings and investment, you get less of it.
Yeah, because when you give away this stimulus check and all the stuff like that, I will applaud, and I do know some people like this. I applaud the few people who got a stimulus check. I'm one of them who did it, but the stimulus check or the what do you gain? They gain welfare. You on a welfare for 2 weeks. I mean, it should be 2 years. It should be a cutoff date for dang sure. But who's on it? Who saved some of their money and got out of the hood, get out of the ghetto, get out the trailer park again, because again, most people that's on welfare is white people. Get off of that and better their lives. Come up with inventions, do things, set their daughters and their sons to become, because there's many stories that happen as two twin daughters. They got full ride scholarship, and they full ride scholarship to high school, to colleges. Awesome. And then a couple black young youths who did great things and got scholarship, and also they invented stuff that could be patented to make them make money. Young black dudes, entrepreneurs, awesome. Same thing with the Asians, same thing with let's work together and do certain things. That is good. But if you don't save, you don't invest, you don't have to invest. Let's put this, if you don't save for a rainy day, you won't have, when the rainy day does come or the bad day does come, you're totally up S Creek.
government sends checks to people who don't work. More people don't work.
There's a sign behind you that says Waverly Job Center. You have any intention of going in to get a job?
Not looking for a job.
And guarantees like a higher minimum wage and forced family leave raise the cost of workers, which means some people never get hired.
Exactly.
In Minneapolis, we now recycle organics.
And the higher taxes to pay for all the programs mean some businesses never open.
I've been touring the businesses that were burned and did not mention global warming, recycling, or the environment one single time. You know what they say? Give me low taxes and give me public order. If you don't have good schools, low taxes, and low crime, you're not going to have small businessmen and women investing their lifetime of savings to open a business.
And that is true, because I've talked about this on the show multiple times before. Most of these people, as you saw the video, when they attacked the gas station that's black owned. Some of these companies, some of these job places, whatever, that have family owned business and shops, they're not gonna rebuild. Oh, they got insurance. Not all insurance is equal, and not all of them had insurance. And if you do have insurance, again, like the Chinese guy and the lady I showed in past videos, the insurance will fix the building. They will fix the building, but the merchandise, the thousands, the $200,000, $300,000 of merchandise that people stole, they're not gonna get that back. That's lost. That's loss. Literally, that is loss. and they just like, screw it, I can't rebuild, I can't do this. And then when the companies like when you see these same people say, "Oh, gentrification is bad and stuff," mostly white leftists, but gentrification bad and stuff again and again. There are some parts of it that is bad. I'm not saying it's not, like I said, everything's all 100%. Remember, but when you have the situation, they say, "Oh, they don't have. We have a food desert and all this stuff." There was I guarantee you. And I remember when I was young, when I used to hear the whole thing about the food desert, everything. I looked into those neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods had grocery stores, had things. What happened was they were getting robbed, looted, all kind of stuff. Some of the co-workers was getting, some of the employees were getting beaten up by customers and stuff. So it was just like they were like, screw it, no, not gonna do it. We're gone. So the same people in the community, not this time because like I said, most people outside, but I'm talking about the general. When I was looking at the same people in the community, caused these people to go. Like its initial run in New York when Rite Aid, CVS, all those guys wouldn't come to this part of Brooklyn. Then look at what happened. A doctor said, "Okay, I'm gonna do a pharmacy to help Black people, Hispanic people, white people, help people unfortunate that they don't have to catch multiple buses, or if they're disabled to go any place else." What did? They broke into the store. Now that many people lost their medicine, they lost their like the insulin, like medicine, insulin stuff that they needed. That store, I gotta look into the store to see if he's gonna rebuild, but they disrupted a lot of people and maybe caused death just because they wanted a few bucks and drinking soda and stuff, or they're selling the drugs on the street. It's despicable, just bad. It's just a bad thing. That's why I talk about it. And he's correct. And that's a part of the whole situation. But people don't, they don't see that.
A creative tax cut, creating more jobs.
That used to be the hallmark of the Democratic Party when John Kennedy used to talk about it.
Democrats did once argue that limited government would allow free people to create wealth.
Again, there you go. And there's a reason, just like I said with Lincoln and stuff and others, that's what he got. That's the reason why he got.
Now it's some command and control economy. And quite frankly, they're not even shy about it in Minnesota. Ilhan Omar the other day said, we need to abolish capitalism.
As long as our economy and political systems prioritize profit, we will perpetuate this inequality.
So you're always going to prioritize profit. It's just, I built a business to make money, to get profit so I could live my life. That's just how it is. Let's be honest with it. Again, I don't like that thinking, oh, we prioritize profit. Okay, yeah. Obscene profits, I get what people are angry on that. I get that. I 100% get that. But just as a logical base, simple talking about it, that's going to happen. Just like she did when she, married, basically had an affair with a married man, then then married that man, and that man has gotten $1 million from her. Somebody prioritized profit there. How'd that work? And again, if she did what she did back in her home country, Somalia, again, I'm just saying the truth. Crazy. They would stone a woman to death in those countries, even if she's innocent of stuff. But that, yeah, jeez.
So we can have equal poverty for everybody.
She doesn't say she wants equal poverty. She thinks her ideas will lift everybody up.
Show us, Ilhan. Where's it worked? And everything they're proposing hasn't worked, which is why we're talking about Minneapolis.
We raise our fists for the innocent Black lives subject to racial discrimination.
I think those disparities were caused by a long trail of historic racism.
Cam Gordon is a Minneapolis councilman. He wins elections here because he's in sync with local voters.
So you do have allies inside of government.
Gordon tweets things like, "Time to end capitalism as we know it."
Even though that's how he get most of his money set up, by crony capitalism. But again, I digress.
That would be good.
How would it be good?
We could have more democratic control of our resources.
Every alternative to capitalism brings stagnation and poverty.
And I think that we can take care of each other better.
And I would add to that what John Tosser just said, that it's really free market that does it. Capitalism can bring stagnation too as well. If people are buying the same thing and it's making money, then they're not gonna innovate, and then we get less and less. Like, okay, well, they're buying all this stuff. Why innovate? But let's try to see if we go cheaper and cheaper. So it does happen. I'm not. That's what I said. That's why I talk about stuff like this. Free market is the best way to really say it. Capitalism has this problem because when a certain person gets to a certain problem, now what we have in America is crony capitalism or oligarchy. Like, okay, like for the pharmaceuticals, yes, and also for the insurances, we have oligarchy. That's what we have. Couple and most in the lower end, and in the cities they have the same thing too. Again, if you want to open, say you want to open a taxi company or a moving company or stuff like that, these politicians get these business owners to pay a certain money a year, and then they write the law that says if you want to start a moving company, you have to ask other moving companies the permission to move in. And what moving company going to ask for competition when they got them a monopoly in the market? New York is famous for that. California is famous for that. Parts in Florida is famous for that. Like, and it's a left and a right. It's a Republican, it's a Democrat. Both parties have done this. That's what we have. We have a cronyism capital. We have crony capitalism, and we have an oligarch. We don't have free markets. If free markets really do the job, it works.
So that we're actually looking out for the vulnerable and the needy, and also making sure that we have an opportunity to right the wrongs of the past.
We are demanding. We don't need to right the wrongs of the past. We have progress to a lot of stuff out there. And again, as I stated many times before, the filibuster was put in by the Democrats hey, again, here we go. The filibuster was put in by the Democrat at the time after the Civil War so they couldn't get your reparations. Y'all, the same Democrats who say give them reparations back in the past, those same Democrats was like, oh, we ain't giving you slaves no money, because it was the Republicans who was trying to give them the reparations. That didn't happen. That's why you had the Jim Crow laws put by Democrats. So that's why now when they're like, oh, we need to get rid of the filibuster. Yeah, because if that ever happens and they use the nuclear deal for the Senate, oh my goodness. Y'all want to see crap happen? My best advice to anybody out there is to save your money and prepare for the worst in this election coming up and in the future, because these cities, and again, I've stated before, your local people do way worse than the federal in the majority of cases, as you've seen with Minneapolis, as we're talking here, and all this stuff. And remember, those people voted for that. They voted to abolish the police. Except for them. They get security. You, rules for you, not for me, you do not get security. So while they have 24/7 security around them, police guy block and doing that, something happened to your house or whatever, you can't call nobody. Weird.
Justice, not just for Floyd, but for a corrupt system.
Because racism has never been over.
Who? And she's correct. Racism has never been over. It never will. It will never stop, because we are humans. Racism is a part of tribalism, which is the more bigger thing. That's just nature. That's the nature of humans.
Didn't want justice for Mr. Floyd. There was unanimity from everybody. The Democrat county attorney got the policeman charged in 4 days, the fastest ever. What does that have to do with abolishing our economic system?
They would say economic freedom just means white people, insiders, get rich.
But when we had this economic engine going before the lockdown, the people gaining the most were at the bottom end of the wage scale.
Yep.
A rising tide truly lifts all boats.
He's right. In the past 50 years, while progressives attack profits,
Feed the rich and feed the poor.
That pursuit of profit, capitalism, lifted more than 1 billion people around the world out of the misery of extreme poverty.
The problem with capitalism as we know it is there seems to be this idea that we have to have constant growth.
Yeah. In the stock markets, I don't like it. But in just everyday thinking, yeah, you do. That's how you feed yourself again. That's just, yeah, I gotta have growth if I open a business. Now, like I said, the stock market is a different story, and I don't like it in there. You have to have, that's where we gain the stock market doing all this crazy stuff now and back in the days too. So it sucks. Oh man, I don't like it. I get it in that regard, but it's two different things.
Growth works. Growth lifts many of the poor.
But it lifts the rich much faster.
Yeah. Okay, so let me help. I'll break it down for Mr. that guy right there. As you saw, what I used, hell, I use it for my grandma and everything for when we were stuff. You started off with a little farm, right? You sold it. You got money for what you produce. You invest back into the farm because my grandmother did. Got more farm, which is growth. Made more money. Invested a little bit more to get better. To, of course, feed her family like me and everyone, so we could eat food, but also grow a little bit more so they could be more efficient. That is true. And she's at the top. So yeah, she will grow. You would consider her rich. I doubt it, but I'm just using that as an example because she said that she's a CEO. She was making money. She's the top. So yeah, it raised her up, but other people was helping or like us or the family, we benefited more. Yes, it happens. Jeez.
So what if the rich get filthy rich? If the poor do better too?
Capitalism, as we know, it's got us the housing crisis right now.
That's a lie. It was Clinton who pushed that stupid thing in with the with Freddie Mac, whatever, that signed that bill that if you will not get your regulation for your banks if you don't give loans to people who should never get loans. Some are minorities, some are white people. It made no difference, but you're not a qualifier. And when Bush got into office, President Bush got into office, he saw that. Oh, and he saw that the banks was making money, and could he stop it? He could have. He didn't. He made it even worse. Both parties again.
And it's got us climate change that's actually going to destroy the planet.
But
again, majority of the people who pollute in the planet are the people. Well, I'll bring it up. You see, like I said, we talk about the climate change stuff.
Your ideas are going to bring poverty and tyranny. They have again and again. Every time it's been tried. The idea.
What idea? Community-based economics?
These are families that are 42% black.
By community-based, he means the community will decide what everyone must be paid, what landlords may charge, even what grocery stores stock.
How about I don't? Minimum requirements for grocery store. See, that's that nonsense. Again, like I said, it's crazy. What kind of, you telling me you're going to tell a grocery store what to put in there? The grocery store should go on what, just like I said with my grandma, like if they want more bananas, hey, if more bananas is selling, she gonna plant more banana trees. If more peanuts need to sell, actual shocks that she did sell, like peanuts need to sell, it was selling, we put more peanuts in. I don't want somebody to say, well, we don't need all those peanuts. Why? I don't like peanuts, but it's selling the most. Yeah, but we don't want it. We want more papayas. People are buying papayas. Yeah. That's stupid. That's why I say that is so nonsense.
Sure sounds like socialism to me.
When socialism fails, the apologists always say, we just didn't do it enough. We just didn't do it the right way. That's always been the case, and it's always failed.
He is correct about that. He's correct about that, for sure. And remember, these are the same people, who say like he said and everything else. I've showed a video about with the soda tax that these progressive did, but he makes more money off of it. The poor, but you're rich and you're making more money off of that. Well, the rich, and he just said the rich get richer, but you're rich and you get richer. You kind of defeating your own purpose, sir. Jeez. Ridiculous. But let's go into this week's show. So I'll set it up here. This week's show of my bad on that. Last week, I brought you the story of this lovely lady right here. I'll keep the pejoratives away, but this lovely lady right here, you could pick up on the hints, who told people that she was set up I'm sorry. I can't do this with a straight face. She was set up with to getting her hair blow dried and shampooed. She was set up. Oh Lord. And I like the protest to her. See, that protest I get behind. I'm behind protests that don't disrupt and don't go violent. Shout outs to the protesters who do that, but the people get hijacked, like I said. But the protest for her putting hair curlers and stuff on her proper, like her fences and stuff, I'm cool with that because don't be that. Don't be that at all. Talking about I did not know. No, you did. And your nephew is the governor of the same state that you run, and you run the district, and you are a lawmaker. And you telling me you don't know the law? Really, Nancy? Really? Just love that, don't you? So, as just to recap, just to recap some of the story of it, her assistant set up something, which is again, this is why I don't like these bourgeoisie people that kill me. It does. You are the Speaker of the House. You are the third most powerful person in government, right? And you're telling me you need to get your hair done. You couldn't tell the hairstylist to come to your house. It'd be way easier, way simple. That's one thing about this. That's one thing about certain rich people I don't like when they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive my Aston Martin and you're pure drunk." Dude, you got enough money to hire an Uber. You got enough money to hire somebody to drive you around, but you want to be the butt munch, the a wipe who just want to do this. It's that's crazy. You are so self-centered in that regard, and that's like I said, that's the evil part of some rich people. So there you go. So she could have done that. It was one of the stylists in this situation. This lady owned 2 salons. She's the owner. She rents out the chairs to people. One of the stylists Nancy goes to basically said, "Yeah, you'll come on in," without the main person knowing. The main person always have security cameras to make sure it stays legit. And she caught that. And she's like, "Whoa, what the heck? Wait, we're closed down. We can't open up our shops, but you come into my shop, whatever." And the hairstylist, again, she could have told the hairstylist, "Hey, how about you come to my house?" And none of this would have been a problem. Not at all. But so stupid. So stupid. You are worth over $100 million. You're telling me you couldn't put, you live in a mansion. You're telling me you couldn't put, hell, I know a girl who's not, kind of well off, but she ain't super rich. But you know what she did? Because she just didn't want to be around certain things, because, certain things. She turned her laundry room, she still have a laundry, but she turned half her laundry room into her hairstylist herself. Because why not? And Nancy, and she's not worth hundreds of $millions. Nancy could have done that, and many other people could have done that. Same thing with what her name is again, Lori Lightfoot and all that stuff. But nope, that's not. Rules for thee, not for me. You do as I say, not as I do. So as you see on this screen right here, This is another thing that they're hypocrite about. As it says, San Francisco gym owners are livid after discovering gyms in the government buildings have been open for months, but the gyms that everybody have are shut down. The government. Lord. I don't know why people always looking. That's why when I see the commercials for a lot of Biden's commercials saying about, I'm gonna do this. Let me take care. I don't want you to get out of the way. Get out of the way. I don't want you to take care of nothing for me, sir. Protect. I got a list of stuff that you should do, but you doing certain things that you say in your ads, same thing with Trump. I don't want y'all to do that. Get out of the way. I could do it my damn self. It'd be way better if I do it myself. But let's continue with this craziness.
Surprise at their local DMV office.
In California, where all the environmentalists do crazy stuff, and just like this, I showed you with the whole thing of progressives in Minneapolis, they pass all these crazy bills, and we go on green this, green that. We're gonna put all the stuff, and I am for that. I have solar panels on my house. Okay, I am for that, and hopefully in 5 years, God bless it, I got my own battery, so I could be off the grid. So I am down for that with no problem. But it's funny how all the systems set up. I talked about this before. They don't have it. They came off of their powers. They came off the nuclear, the coal, the other stuff so quickly that they didn't have an intermediate. And now, without the intermediate, and also with governments paying PG&E not to clean up the brush stuff that caused majority of the fires. Not all of them. Some of people were being arsonists, and some people accidentally fought fires. And also, it's the Mother Nature strike, a lightning hitting a tree, because the brush is very dry in California. That happens. Just give you all circumstances. But majority of it is because P&G took the money that they're supposed to clean and stuff and gave it to Gavin Newsom, the politicians, and all that stuff. And yeah, they don't care. They're gaining money. Oh, Gavin Newsom's sister got $100,000 for doing walks. It's just ridiculous. Okay. And again, if my friend's husband was being killed, he'll be right there helping people, because he literally did help you. He was a firefighter, but because of certain things, he got killed. How that worked out. Just messed up all around. But look how they are. They didn't have an intermediate solution before they go to full green. So when they with that, again, if the wind doesn't blow a lot, you don't get no power. If the wind blows too much, they shut down the wind turbines because it's wind turbine it causes too much power, and it could cause light strike fires and all this stuff. So it has to be between 5 to I think it's 5 to 40 miles per hour. Anything above that, you got to shut it down. Anything below that, you're not producing nothing. And they have a lot of people who got solar panels and feeding back in the grid like I do. That's why I want my own battery, because I don't want to trust nothing like whatever get off the grid. But all the power, sometimes they get too much power and have no storage for it, just like they did with water. Jerry Brown, back in the 60s, they told him, build more reservoirs. He didn't. He became the governor a second time. Build more reservoirs. He didn't. So that's why you always get water drawing and strikers. That's why you got the bill. Like if you use over 55 gallons of water, you want to get 55 gallons. If you use that in your house, which is basically a shower and washing your clothes, just doing that, you're over the limit. You're gonna get charged $1,000 a day. And if you go in a drought situation like how it is right now, you get charged $10,000 a day. Who passed these crazy ass bills? But as I said it again, without an intermediate now that they took out the coal and all the nuclear out, now they don't have nothing to charge. And again, if they get enough power, they send it to here's the funny part. You got a solar farm. You have all these houses who have all this solar power, get back to the system. You don't have so you were like, okay, let's give it to Oregon. Let's give it to Nevada. Let's send it to these different states so they can have the power. California pay those states to take the power, which is kind of weird. It's supposed to be like, oh, you're giving us free power. Well, shoot, we should be paying you. No. including with their budget of being over $283 billion in California is the biggest state that has the biggest debt fall, but it's just weird. But now you're having this rolling blackouts. They're turning off the power because they don't have enough power for certain things. And you think this is a government building. Why don't you put solar panels in the government building with the battery? Nope. But listen to what happened. This is what it is.
Turned away because all DMV offices across California closed at 3 o'clock to conserve energy amid the heat wave. Energy conservation is what the California Independent System Operator wants to see more of today in hopes of preventing more rolling blackouts.
Traffic lights, which is going to cause more trouble because a lot of people don't follow. And I know you guys know that. Some people don't follow the simple rule of four-way stop. I saw that. That happened to me last week when it's supposed to be a stop, four-way stop. This guy came. Everybody was following it, but this lady in her SUV, the guy was a BMW. It was his turn. He turned, and after that, it was supposed to be me going, and I'm going, and she just didn't care and took her Suburban and just cut in front of me. Like, wow, it could have hit me. It's like, really, ma'am? It's 1111. Look at that. You got these major intersections that don't have lights.
Just like yesterday.
The operators downstairs in our control room told me that they had never seen a load chart like we saw yesterday. It was stunning, the conservation response that we got. And I applaud everyone who took actions to do that. And I know it's hot and I know it's hard, but those same actions today can make all the difference in the world.
That is crazy, you moronic, crazy person. You turn off the power for people, even though they pay their bills. You turn off their power, and you're say if that person had a respirator, say the person needed something with power, or the insulin in the fridge or whatever, you turn off the power. Jeez. That person could, and there have been people linked to deaths to stuff like this. That's what I'm saying. This is ridiculous. Oh, because serving the power. No, you created a power. So you created the problem. What the hell? Wow. Just like Cuomo, when Cuomo's like, I'm writing a book about how I did a great job taking care of the vid. I gotta use the word because again how algorithms is. The vid. I'm like, but you put people who had the vid in elderly home and killed 1,600 people. Wow. Boy, you got some BALLS. Jeez. That is some craziness. Holy smoke.
PG&E specifically saw their customers cutting back.
Most importantly, what helped is our customers really hearing that conservation request and really adhering to doing their best to conserve energy. That's really the best way that we can avoid these rotating outages.
CalISO operates 80% of the state's power grid. The last time we saw an energy emergency like this, 2001. CalISO says abnormally high heat is one of the contributors to this emergency.
I would challenge the notion that this is normal summer heat. We haven't seen, or load, we haven't seen heat like this since 2006. And in fact, Death Valley had, I believe a day or two ago, had the highest recorded temperature on Earth, I think it was, at 130 degrees.
It's hot across.
No, it's not. On Earth, no, that's a lie. One. On Earth, no, that's a lie. Two. You guys didn't fix your infrastructure. You guys take taxpayers' money and you don't fix the infrastructure. You don't cut down the brush lines. You don't build better infrastructure. And as I said, I'll explain more. I've explained it before, but I'll show more too. Like that situation. Yes, you're California. You have the biggest population. Reflect that. Just like with water, you have the biggest population, and y'all don't build no reservoirs. So that's where you got more droughts. As the old saying go, nature creates droughts. Government creates famines because they don't react the right way. Jerry Brown should have built. They told him, build reservoirs, fix the dams. When his second term came around, build reservoir, fix the dams. He did, and one of the dams got broke, and they had to release the water because they didn't want to fix that dam. build more reservoirs, build more water tanks. You have more population every other year. Now you're getting a kind of negative out because people's like, this state is crazy. I'm out. It's sad that some of those damn people go to other states and bring their policies there, which I hate that. Don't keep your what fails for you, don't bring it around here with that nonsense. The situation is okay. Let's put it this way. I give it that nature is what it is. Like I said, nature creates droughts, but you don't prepare for it. You guys literally take the money and spend it on lavish crap. And I know about it because I've seen what y'all have done with the money.
Across the whole western U.S., which makes importing power more difficult. And CalISO says there's a lack of resources, with coal power plants going offline.
I think a lesson out of this is to better look at how we're backfilling for retiring, particularly thermal units like coal units and gas units for that matter.
Okay, I'll say this. At least you brought up that situation, like I said before. At least you brought that up, okay? So let's talk about this little nugget that was said. Remember back when President Trump got out of the whole Paris Accord deal, which is asinine. The deal was asinine in the first place. France does not control nothing. The biggest polluters on the planet are China, Russia, India. Sorry, they are. And most of the plastic bags come from those countries, from China and Russia, but China and India. Sorry. So, but remember, as you just said, these are the same people who said we're shutting down nuclear coal plants, we're shutting down nuclear plants. They literally shut down some nuclear plants in California. While you're doing that, they say, "Oh, we need to get back into those things." Look, but again, but France is building new nuclear plants in France on Economical and Environment Agency. They're building it. State Environment Agency contradicts Macron on new nuclear. New nuclear reactors would be structurally loss making. Renewables could account for 85% of power mix by 2050. They're getting nuclear. The UAE just got themselves a nuclear plant. They're going for it. You could say that they won't have that, but Macron's going through. He signed it in. They're gonna get nuclear power. In his story, they're basically saying that we should go for more more the other powers like those guys, the wind, the solar, and all that stuff, whatever. But as in his speech last month, President Macron said nuclear energy would remain a promising technology for producing low cost, low carbon energy, and that the EDF and the EPR reactor model should be a part of the future energy options. They're doing it. And again, then China is a part. China and Russia and India are part of the Paris Accord deal. And again, they pollute the most. So it's kind of weird how I said it's a resolution that means nothing. It's fancy paper that means jack squat. So I am with the president saying pull out a deal because it's just pandering, and it's just literally pandering. It don't mean nothing. It doesn't. It does not. It's just ridiculous. And there are some inventions now to kind of find out how, which I'm hoping there are people out there. I think I saw it. I got to look for it. Hopefully I can find what I'm doing and everything. There are a couple of people who came up with ways to turn the nuclear waste in a way that it does not, it still is going to be volatile. Not denying that, but turn it into something else that it can also power something else in a other way to get rid of that the nuclear years and stuff off of it. If they good at that'll be a better thing. That'd be a good thing. But again, they don't follow. They're following their rules. While California and people say we didn't get rid of nuclear. They're not France is like, nah, blue, 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 blah, 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 but we're not doing what you're doing, Americans. No. So they're going a different way. And speaking of that, let's end it off with, let's finish up what I gotta say with, give me a second here. The next one. Let's go full circle as we go from let me put it a different way because I know people get triggered. So let's put it that way so it'll be easier. But let's talk about the next thing. Disney just released Mulan, the video, the movie, the remake. And I'll be honest to you again. Jungle Book, good. People said Beauty and the Beast is good. I didn't check into that, but Jungle Book is good. Aladdin, I watched it. Yeah. Mulan, I have not watched. I'll watch it. I don't have Disney Plus, but I have somebody else. So yeah. But from people who I know who watch it, they and the scene that the longer clips of it's just like, oh my goodness, what did they do? But I'll disagree from that part. Leave it as it is. But it's funny though that again, as a lot of these Black Lives Matter talking about, as the lady said, oh, racism and all this stuff. One of the biggest countries that perpetuate that same word that you like, lady, that racism, is China. Communism believes in that you don't believe in no God. Man is the deity. As remember this in the Bible, from a Christian perspective, nobody should put a false God. Well, they believe in that the human is a deity, as they're going to explain right here. If you think, it's sad I only don't brought up the Muslim Uyghurs, but they are Christians, Buddhist monks, all people who are also part of the slave camp. And last week on the side chat, I talked about the weave, where they took 3.8 tons of weave from China, which was cut from slaves. They cut off the hair from the slaves and stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so you wouldn't want to put that stuff in your hair. I would not put crap in my hair in the first place because I don't know what the heck it came from. I wouldn't. I understand people want to put wigs and everything, but I gotta know where it come from percentage. And a lot of these places don't tell you that. I don't know what these are people who are malnutrition and just you don't know what's in that stuff. And nah, I'm not down with that nonsense. Y'all could do that, whatever you pay for y'all bundles, whatever, girl. So let's go with like I said. So let's look at this.
China is stealing intellectual property.
China would own our country if Joe Biden got elected.
We will never again be at the mercy of China.
Today, politicians compete to be anti-China.
China?
But just 20 years ago, they were so optimistic.
China's made great progress in building a new economy.
We know a future of greater trade and growth and human dignity is possible.
China had suddenly embraced free.
Again, both parties, okay? Except for this one right now. I'm being 100% honest. He said it in the past when he wasn't president, and he's saying it now, and we need to cut away from it. It's stupid that we put on the pharmaceuticals, the simple stuff, medicine, aspirin, whatever, made in China, not in America. That is dumb.
Free markets. They got rid of price controls, broke up collective farms, allowed foreign investment, and privatized state-run businesses. China was
rushing towards the future at breakneck speed.
People were so happy to finally see China being set on this path.
Melissa Chen reports on China for The Spectator.
It lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty for the very first time.
And then 3 years ago, something changed.
Yep, the rise of Xi Jinping.
He cracked down on speech, even jokes. Someone compared him to Winnie the Pooh.
They bore a striking resemblance.
From then on,
mentioning Winnie the Pooh ends up getting scrubbed from the internet.
When the internet
and also gets you in an internment camp.
First appeared, a lot of us thought it couldn't be censored.
China has been trying to crack down on the internet. Good luck. Yeah,
well, Billy boy, I They did a good job. They must have got the luck of the gods, because they did.
That's sort of like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall.
Well, the Chinese figured out how to nail Jell-O to the wall. They've built an almost perfectly walled-in internet.
China employs 1 million sensors called the 50-cent army.
The 50-cent army is a bunch of online commentators that are hired by the Chinese Communist Party to basically manipulate public opinion.
They block the big international sites and most Western news media.
They do, unless they play by their rules. Google.
People here generally don't get to see the World Wide Web we see. If you try to, they may barge into your home, threaten your family, restrict your choices.
Can't make doctor's appointments. They'll block you from buying a train ticket or a plane ticket.
Worse, if you're a Muslim like the Uyghurs, the Chinese will lock you up in re-education camps.
Sometimes for years, and their family never hears back from them.
There's not been much reporting on this.
Right, and that's because China severely restricts the movement of journalists.
Some video taken from satellites or drones was posted on Twitter. We see blindfolded people with their heads shaved, their hands tied behind their backs. China says these are vocational training camps.
That's what they claim. But satellite images tell a totally different story.
And Radio Free Asia says they've now added
this really creepy policy when males of the Uyghurs are sent off to re-education camps. These Han Chinese males licensed by the party would come in and live with the family, sleep in the same bed as the wives.
Yet in America, protesters say America is the biggest oppressor.
Slavery, genocide, and war.
This recent New York Times editorial board member asked, is the United States better, worse, or the same as China? This is a difficult question to answer.
No, it's not.
This equivalence is bonkers. There should be no doubt about the moral equivalence between the two countries.
Because in America,
you can criticize Donald Trump and hold up a sign in a protest saying, screw Donald Trump, the United States suck. But you cannot do anything remotely similar in China.
Or Russia.
People in Hong Kong.
Or Venezuela. Or in Iran. Or Nicaragua.
Tried.
Nearly 2 million marching across the city to voice their anger.
Many waving American flags.
The Hong Kong people clearly have a hankering for American values. They crave for this freedom that we take for granted.
But it's sad enough because I went to Hong Kong and I saw that went back in 2002. It's sad what it is now. Including I have a couple people who are from friends that are from Hong Kong. And the stuff they're telling me was going back on home, which is sad because now China has took over Hong Kong. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Beating up 12. Ugh.
But now they too have been silenced. I wish these American democratic socialists.
That is a freaking communist Russian flag.
The Soviets would have called them useful idiots.
That's what Stalin called them. They're simple-minded, useful idiots, as I showed early in the video.
I wish they understood what the Chinese people have learned. Socialism leads to real.
That's police brutality. That's what we should be stopping this crazy stuff. Holy smokes.
Government oppression.
The communists broke our bones, but the Americans broke our hearts. Because while my people were waving the American flag in our streets, begging for freedom, Americans were waving the communist flag in their streets.
Why would Americans want this? Why would they be waving these communist flags, wanting socialism?
We'll never stop fighting for the smell of freedom. What about you, America?
And again, John Stossel is a good source of a lot of stuff. He plays devil advocate, asks a question. He's a libertarian. He's not. He has videos against Trump as well too. So if you think, oh no, he has some videos against Trump. I could even share that one of his videos is Trump spending, which I'm also not happy for as well too. His latest video, just to show you.
China.
you know, he has a video about that. I want to play the commercial stuff. So he talks about this stuff about both parties and stuff. So that's why I respect the man for that. Again, I don't agree with him 100% because I'm not a slave. I'm not gonna agree with him 100%. I get that, but again, you ain't gonna agree with me 100%. That's the whole point. Don't be a slave. Just do your own thinking, whatever. But I do like his stuff, so I use some of his stuff. You will see more of John Stossel. Go and subscribe and listen to all the different things because I like he played it. You know, the devil's advocate in many things. But look at that, look at that. And the Disney thanked China for the using of the same camp that you said, the Uyghur camps, the slaves to make their moves in Milan. So it's weird. It's just weird. Y'all fighting and she's correct about that. And I also let it straight on the whole Statue of Liberty was given by France. It was a poem. It was not on the Statue of Liberty when it was given from France, because again, it's kind of weird how that works out. But people just take it to the thing. You can use it as a symbolism, get it. But let's put actuality to it. Okay, so that's man, it's just weird. Okay, so there you point. That's what pointing out. That's what I want to point out, as she pointed out there. That's true police brutality going on. You have certain, sports and everything. Ain't whatever. And that gets to my point of when people say, "Oh, America's a horrible country, bad and everything." And I'll say this: is it perfect? Heck no, it's not. It's nowhere perfect. It's nowhere good. It has its bads. I've talked about it before. It has its bads. It's not perfect. Some of these politicians do horrible stuff, as I point out, with the rules within that for me nonsense. So I've talked about it. But there are only three superpowers. Three: America, Russia, China. And when I got people who I have friends who's from both. No, like I said, not from. I don't know. Kenji, no, Japan, and Lam is from, like I said, from Hong Kong. But and I know a guy from Russia. So, and he was a black guy from Russia, which is because of how his story, which is weird. I hope I could get him on the show to talk about it. But my point is this: I just showed you what that one, how China does their stuff. And they do stuff to black people bad too. So I don't want to be a part of that. And then you have the Russia, like I said, with the whole thing that's going on, and for some reason people are getting poisoned. Putin's thing, he got poisoned in a commercial plane with his he actually is to get water. Boy, even water could be considered dangerous. He got poisoned. And if some doctors was going to say something about how the vid was bad in Russia, mysteriously they fell out windows. So don't be saying anything bad around windows. But I digress. If those are the powers that's out of the three, I don't want that. I'll take the good old US of A. I'll be a good old boy. Be on USA. But for real though, it's just craziness. So just letting people know about that. That's why I did this show. Because it's all full circle, literally. Being that how that's it. It's all full circle when y'all talking about racist oppression and all this stuff. When you see there's real racist oppression and other stuff. And the people who still cause racism oppression are people doing horrible stuff that don't look like you. Again, people are saying, "Oh, the white people are destroying black-owned business." You're right, but then they say people will say Black Lives Matter. What now? How that makes sense? How does that make sense? Don't know. So once again, I want to thank you guys, of course, for joining me on Project Oprah Mike. Again, tomorrow, September 11th, is a Friday. Hope you have a good Friday for me. It's gonna be tomorrow's. I'll be working, but it's a good day. It's a bad day for remembrance. Every day on this planet has 365 has some bad stuff going on. But to a special person out there, my mom, she was born on September 11th. So, you know, happy birthday. Happy that you made it around the sun 365 more days again, Mom. So thank you. If she didn't get born, I wouldn't be born. But other than that, again, thank you guys out there for enjoying and for commenting. I hope you enjoy the show that I provided tonight. So again, if you want to get in contact, Project Open Mic, email projectopenmic3@gmail.com. If you're on Twitter and you're on Instagram, share the videos or share this or make this a topic subject, but Project Open Mic on those platforms. And again, slowly we're going to expand back out as best as we can. Also, check out tomorrow the side chat with me, Trip, and any more people who could join in as guests. So we talk about stuff. We have two crazy stories that I know we're going to be talking about. So hope you guys can enjoy us with it. So Tempo and everybody get your typing ready because, yeah, it's going to be jokes in certain regards. But again, Black Lives Matter, yes. The phrase got hijacked. The organization, the first person who did it, his phrase got hijacked by those three women. Those three women got complaining now. These idiots that these people are now shouting that these are going around and destroying business, black, white, whatever. I'm showing you videos of them destroying black-owned business. The black lady was cussing us and not cussing, but arguing with them and everything. Sad, just sad. So I don't fault nobody for saying the phrase, but I fault the people who don't know what the heck's going on in these chapters and all this nonsense. And get hijacked. Be careful out there when it comes like that. September for those remembrance for those people for 9/11. Yep, it's gonna be the 20th anniversary next year. Boy, ooh, that's gonna be something. But other than that, like I said, my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Other than that, you guys, I hope you guys have a safe Friday and a safe weekend if you don't watch the side chat. So remember, again, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, race, everything. No matter what it is, it is evil. And remember, people are stupid, individuals are smart. So be that smart individual. This is your boy Tig of T3 Records of Project Open Mic, and I'll also be on Project Open Mic on the YouTube channel. You see right there. There are gonna be more videos popping up. You could talk about relationships and everything from different people who are part of the Project Open Mic project. So proud for that. Again, subscribe. Come on, guys, just do it for me. You know, just subscribe. Do as the little I should say, do as this little video does say here. Just comment the video, share, subscribe, everything. Just help us out by that. I'm not asking for donations or nothing. Just help us out in that regard, okay? So thank you guys once again for spending your time and your giving your eyesight. I hope this could help you understand what's going on in the future. So this is Tig again for Project Open Mic. Y'all have a good night.